Hey everyone, welcome to the Fortress of Solitude podcast. I'm your host, Sergio Pereira, and I am joined by our editor, the fearless Jarrod Saunders. Jarrod, how you doing, dude?
Dude, I just got the vaccine today, so I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling good, but let's hope it stays that way. So if you hear me talking a bunch of nonsense today, I have an excuse.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna it just depends whether you believe scientific evidence or you trust all your medical advice to come from memes. So we just got to see how that goes. No, but that's great to hear, man. I'm hopefully we get some form of normality back in our lives in the near future. And I for sure am hoping that we're in the right direction, that the worst is over now. But we're not going to be discussing health here, unfortunately. We're actually going to be discussing, as you've seen by the title, Love, Death, and Robots. Now, we were lucky enough to get just a preview of We've got all 8 episodes of the second season. And it's dropping now, obviously, on Netflix. And you guys are going to be able to also watch it and let us know what you think about it. But I want to get your first impression, Jarrod. Did you watch the first season of Love, Death, and Robots?
I did. And I really enjoyed the first season, so I was hoping for a second one, actually. So it was nice when I heard about the second one coming out. I was like, I've got to watch this. Because the first one had some really, really cool shorts, like animated shorts. So, yeah, I was excited for the second one.
Yeah, I mean, I checked out most of the episodes of the first season. I'm not going to say I checked out all of them because I didn't. I think I got probably about 15 out of the 18 episodes or so far. But I must say, I'm actually pretty happy that the second season is a lot shorter, even though the episodes are not that long. I don't know, for some reason, I kind of lost interest a little bit towards, after I was watching all those episodes. I think there was just too much to watch at the same time, and I don't think it's a reflection of the quality of the animation. But for me,
are you talking about season 1 or season 2? No?
It's season one. Yeah, I just felt that there were almost too many episodes. Even though they're short. I mean, it's I think that's the problem. Your brain gets tricked into we're not used to 18 episodes for anything anymore. I mean, we're not watching Riverdale here, which I will watch straight away. But
or Smallville for that matter.
Yeah, exactly.
30-something episodes per season.
So it's kind of nice to have a shorter season. I did feel like I breezed through it very quickly.
Yeah.
But it was actually quite nice. I must say, I enjoyed the second season more than I did the first one. Even though
100%.
Even though I must be honest, I've got a few standout episodes that I want to discuss. For me, I think, obviously, as you all know, or you may not know, the way that they actually serve you Love, Death, and Robots, they actually have different orders. I think it's 4 variations. So depending on your algorithm, whatever they feed you, just 4 different orders. I don't know if it's at random. I'm not entirely sure. So that's why even when we were discussing a couple episodes beforehand, I was like, no, the first episode. No, that's not what happened in the first episode. Remember we had a discussion?
Yeah, I remember.
So it's kind of cool to actually, you be fed different ones. So it's important to take note of the name of the episode, and obviously, you can discuss it with your friends, because sometimes you're going to say, oh yeah, watch first episode of Love, Death, and Robots, and they might hate it, and you're like, what? What's wrong? It's amazing. But for me, my first episode that I actually watched was Automated Customer Service, and I just really dug it, just for the simple reason that it was a simple, self-contained story, and I felt it was a really good parody of customer service in general. If you're in despair, please press 1. Okay, please hold on for a consult. I really loved the way, it was very tongue-in-cheek. It was very playful. It reminded me a little bit of something peak Tim Burton would have done.
Yes. But funny enough, it was actually my least favorite episode of the season, which is, I just didn't dig it. I get that there was, I suppose the others are not as funny as this one. So I like the seriousness of the others. This one wasn't as dark. It wasn't as, the realism wasn't there. It was meant to be funny.
Well, Jarrod, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. So that's what I'll say, because I really love this one. Another one that I found was also pretty cool that I enjoyed, that I wasn't expecting, was and you mentioning dark, and I felt that this one was pretty dark, was Pop Squad. That one for me was like, with the cop, the detective, and like, the children. I felt that it was pretty dark. Like I must say, like there were moments that you were like, oh, is this really going to happen? Is this really going to happen? And they actually did do it. So
that was the first one I watched actually.
And I
thought it was a good entry for me into like the whole thing because it's so real. Like the visual effects is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, but that's something I must say about the entire season as a whole, that like even though they all use different animation techniques, the animation is stunning. It's amazing. Like I think the quality of the animation studios, and I mean obviously we've got Blur Studio here and you've got Unit Image and Passion Animation Studios, just to name a few. I think that they've done such a really good job, and the way it's been selected, and I mean the quality control, it's incredible.
It's insane. It's insane.
But I must say though, like you spoke about your least favorite episode, and I've got one as well. And I know we're gonna disagree on this one, but Life Hutch, the one with Michael B. Jordan, I did not enjoy that.
I enjoyed that one.
And I knew this was going to happen. And I know how I tricked you for like, I don't know how many years I've tricked you pretending that I didn't like Creed. So like Creed and Creed 2, I've been messing with you for years because I love Creed and Creed 2. But I'm like, every time I mention, I'm like, nah, Michael B. Jordan's an average actor. And I mean, I just keep messing with you because I don't think that he's actually pretty good. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's good.
But I just felt that this one, I don't know, it felt like a really bad, for me, like 2000s, like, first person shooter. Like it felt like a Doom clone, but like a bad Doom clone.
I get where you're coming from. It kind of feels like the intro to a game or something, right? It has that vibe, like something is about, like you're going to play as this character for the rest of the game. It has that sort of thing, like the cutscene of, at the beginning of a game. But I did like it. I did like it a lot. Like, there's a lot of tension. It sort of has this alien vibe to it, like I don't know how much we can actually say about what the episodes are about without spoiling them. But I thought it was an interesting script.
Look, I thought the problem for me was that like a lot of these stories, like even the episodes that I didn't like as much as the others, they all had like a self-contained, like it felt like a short story. This one felt like it was a scene from a larger story. That's I think I agree with that. Is my biggest problem with it. Like all the others, like you start off a story. Okay, it doesn't mean like it starts off at the beginning. When once upon a time, it starts off what the story is about, and there's a conclusion to it. And I felt that was done really well. This one felt like I said, it feels like a cutscene from a video game, and it feels like a cutscene that's out of order. Like okay. You kind of understand what's going on, but like I just said, for this one, it felt just very weak from a storytelling perspective. I just didn't feel that it had that sort of emotional impact or resolution that the other ones have.
I'll agree with this, that it actually didn't need Michael B. Jordan in it. Like that was a kind of like extra
bonus,
like a bonus. It didn't need him in it. It could have been anybody else, and it would have been fine. So he didn't really add any value to that short, if you ask me.
I've got to say though that probably like with automated customer service, I think I would probably say it is my favorite, but it's up there. Like there are a few. Is All Through the House, which was a Christmas story. I just found that one was also quite cheeky, but quite well done. The way it was done, because it was actually kind of terrifying, and it just reminded me of sort of like the Krampus vibe, and I think that's more why I love it, because I mean I really loved the Krampus movie from a few years ago that they did, and I think it was with Adam Scott, if I'm not mistaken, and that was just like that sort of vibe. It was a little bit terrifying, but a little bit cheeky, and I just found it like it really was. It was welcome. It was something you didn't expect to see. Put it that way.
Yeah. Look again. Out of the lot, it's not my favorite one.
Like I said, your bad taste.
We're like polar opposites here at the moment.
I think you need to relinquish the editorship of Fortress because the bad taste is coming out here. The bad taste.
I liked elements of it. Like it reminded me a lot of like the 80s horror films that you used to see. Like
Gremlins or something.
That vibe to it. Except it's a lot scarier actually.
No, definitely.
There's no real comedy in there.
Another one that was also quite cool that I really enjoyed was the tall grass. Because to be honest with you, when I first saw it, like, the name kind of does give a bit of it away, to be honest with you, like the name once you see it. And, once it stopped, like once it started and, it felt a little bit slow. But I just, like, as you said, for Life Hatch for you, the tension, I thought the tall grass was pretty cool as well in terms of tension. Just it's kind of got a little bit of a lore there. And, it's something which you can imagine being expanded on.
I'm laughing to myself because you're literally choosing all the ones that I didn't like. Because that one seemed so obvious to me. Like, when the stuff started happening, I was like, the name gave it away.
Yeah, the name does give it away. I'll give you that. The name does give it away. The name, look, I think it is also like one of those names which is not... if you see a movie like, and I can just imagine, you walk into like a blockbuster, like in the 90s, and there's a cover that says a tall grass, and there's like a little bit of like moonlight there, and there's like tall grass, and like, starring, I don't know, Corey Feldman or something.
I think Netflix actually has a movie called Tall Grass or something along those lines.
I thought I did see something, but I haven't watched it. Like, there's something called, but maybe it is based on the same thing. I don't know. But it's like, I just thought that it was quite cool the way it was done. Like, just in terms of, if you say tension and horror, and like, I mean, it's like set out like an isolated sort of setting, you're stuck out there, like, it's terrifying. If you don't get back on the train, then you're done for.
Yeah, so, as far as writing goes, I thought that was a very linear story. I wasn't surprised at all by anything that happened in that.
Now let's see. Like, now we're gonna do the real test here. Snow in the desert. The Mad Max one, as you call it.
Oh, yes. I love that one.
Okay, because that one I thought was really cool. I mean...
Yeah, that one was very good.
From the setting to the action, that was like really cool. And also, like, I didn't know until I actually saw in the credits, it was based on a story by Neil Asher. And I mean, he's a really good sci-fi author as well. So I was super pumped. I was like, okay, I'm sold. So
the animation is so good in that one. I couldn't even tell whether it was real people or whether it was animated characters. I had to like look.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Is this animated? Because it seems like so real. Even the way they did the eyes. Usually the eyes are the way you can tell whether it's animated or
the blinking.
It's missing the soul. Like, Like with that one specifically, I was blown away. I was like, no, this is PlayStation 7 graphics.
And it was like, it also kind of reminded me a little bit, it had like a Blade Runner sort of vibe to it.
Yeah.
Which was something I really dug. It had a sort of feel like I was like, oh, okay, this would be like the natural evolution of something like Blade Runner. Which I thought was really awesome. So I dug that. But okay, let's get on to your terrible episodes that you like.
Okay, I liked the Drowned Giant the most.
Okay, the Tim Miller one, yeah, all right.
Yes. So I don't know how much of it I can speak about because, I mean, it's sort of like a poem, like the whole thing. Right?
Yeah, it had emotional resonance to it. Like, there's no doubt there was something powerful about it. Like, I know, like, in terms of storytelling, like in terms of visual effects, I don't think it was one of the standouts in terms of the way it looks. But the story, like in terms of like what it's actually trying to say, was actually quite interesting.
Yeah, and it doesn't really. There's nothing much that happens, right? But the sort of the things that you get out of the story, it kind of reflects a lot on. Again, it's so difficult to talk about this without giving stuff away.
Yeah,
but it speaks a lot about how humanity is, like the way we look at life, basically. If I can say, this might be a spoiler. It's kind of a nice metaphor for how we come to Earth, we become famous or powerful people, and then we are forgotten.
I kind of
that's not a spoiler, right?
Nah, I don't think so. I kind of look at it, and it reminds me of Gulliver's Travels.
Yes,
meets Jack and the Beanstalk. This is what happens when the giant dies from Jack and the Beanstalk, and everybody suddenly realizes, oh gosh, we're murderers. We just murdered someone. That's a thing. Yeah. Let's be honest. Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack is a murderer.
I didn't see it that way, but okay.
Jack goes into the guy's house. He climbs the beanstalk, goes into this guy's house. First of all, he's an intruder, and then you still murder the person. I mean, and we're celebrating Jack. It's like no. Like, so okay, let's forget about the fact that the giant wanted to eat him when he walked in. You know what? Like, there's different strokes. Some people might want to hit him because he's like an intruder. Other people might want to eat them. Who knows? Let's not get into it. But yeah, that was the way I looked at it. But
I think you just wrote a prequel there.
I think I did, yeah. Hit me up to Miller and David Fincher. So yeah, drop it in the comments down below. I'll believe you. I'll automatically believe it's you speaking to me. Okay, and now obviously, what is the other one that stands out for you?
I liked Pop Squad a lot.
Yeah, that one we can agree on.
Is it called Pop Squad?
Yeah, with the cop, the detective, yeah.
Yes, I really liked that one. I thought it was cool.
I must say, we've covered like most of them. There's only one we haven't touched upon, and it was Ice. And to be honest with you, it's the one where, they're not living on Earth, they're living somewhere else, they've got like powers or something. And the animation style was really nice. Like, I really liked the animation style, but it's a very forgettable story for me. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember which one you're talking about now.
Exactly. That's the thing, was the two brothers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And it was very forgettable. And like, that's the thing, like, out of all of them, I'm just thinking like, I don't actually remember it so well. Like, and it had some good moments, like I said, in terms of animation, but like that one I thought was quite weak. It just did not leave like much of an impression.
Well, I don't even remember which one that is.
Exactly.
I can't remember the story at all.
So yeah, that was the thing that I was like, okay, that one just did not leave much of an impression there. But
so we can agree that one was the worst one then.
Yeah, wow.
I honestly do not remember it.
Well, maybe in terms of being memorable, because like I said, I remember the art style very, very well. Like, the art style was quite memorable, and it was really well done in the character designs, and just the way that they laid it out, like the world and the backgrounds and everything was just really cool.
Yeah.
But the rest
I mean, you can say that about every episode. Nearly every episode, you'll be blown away by the animation.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're very stylized. Each one is like very stylized in a way. Like, nothing actually looks the same as the other, which is really cool. So each episode that you get, you're going to be looking at it and thinking, wow, this is really cool. And I also think in terms of voice cast, they've also got like a lot of like we've already mentioned Michael B. Jordan. I mean, Nolan North has also like another voice actor that appears, and it's exactly the same as what they did in the first season, where you get people involved. I mean, I remember the first season they had people like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Topher Grace, Roger Craig Smith, who was the voice of Batman, and what was the Arkham Origins as well. Kevin Michael Richardson, another famous voice actor. So they've got like a really good cast there as well, and like the people taking on, they've done a really good job. I'm curious though, like how long this is going to carry on, if we will get a third season, because I really do dig it. I think it's something which is quite welcome. It's the closest thing I can compare it is like Robot Chicken, like in the sense of like, I know it's nothing like it, but it's like,
to me, it reminds me of what's the other Black Mirror, like an animated Black Mirror sci-fi sort of a thing.
Yeah, I can see that, but like Black Mirror is like, I don't know, I just felt depressed after every episode. That's one of the reasons why I haven't finished the series. Honestly, I love Black Mirror. Don't get me wrong, I think it's amazing, but I have like an existential crisis every time I watch. I sit up at night. I'm like, should I quit my job? Should I move away? Like, what am I doing? Because Black Mirror is like, it just hits your soul. This, there's some stuff that it gets, but I wouldn't say is as dark and as heavy as. I mean, I know that the whole basis of this started when Fincher and Miller wanted to create a remake of Heavy Metal. That's they wanted to do that, and they approached studios, they approached everyone else, and everyone's like, yeah, we don't know. And then eventually, David Fincher basically just said, you know what, you did well with Deadpool. Everyone knows, what you're about. Let's forget about a movie. Let's just take this to Netflix and do our own thing. And then that's what they did. They thought, okay, we can make shorts, and that's really cool. I am surprised though, and I could stand to be corrected, but we haven't seen Neil Blomkamp do anything here, because he's also got his own studio, right? He's also doing shorts. So I'd be interested to see if he would like take something like this, or if he's even interested in doing this sort of animation, because I think he could probably do something pretty cool. Yeah.
It would fit.
Yeah, because I always thought like he would be quite interesting, because what is he doing now? I mean, he's given up RoboCop, he's given up Alien. I mean, he's working on some thriller. Like, dude, like what you up to? Like, stop working with the Unfold. Like, no one cares. Give us a movie. That's what we want. So but that would be a really cool fit. But I mean, what overall would you say that if somebody's going to start Love, Death, and Robots today, would you say they should start with season 2? It's okay, or do you think they should start with season 1 first?
I don't think it even matters. I think what's more important is that people actually start watching this. It's a bit concerning that not many people have picked up on how good this series actually is. Like, I've spoken to people about it, and they don't know what I'm talking about. So if we hope to get a volume 3, I think more people are going to have to watch, because it must cost quite a bit to make these.
Yeah,
they don't look cheap.
I think, the concerning thing that we get, and I mean, even us, like we receive like media releases and stuff, so sometimes we're more in tune with what's, coming out. But sometimes I do feel that like the marketing for shows like these are just, it's not there. You don't get it. It's like, I mean, for example, now Castlevania, the final season, I think is arriving on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, on Netflix. And there's been like literally no hype about it. And I think Castlevania is probably one of the best series on Netflix. It's amazing. I mean, the anime style, the voice acting, the storyline, it's perfect for even fans of video game or even people who've never even heard of the franchise. And I think similar to like Love, Death, and Robots, a lot of people are just not getting, they're getting fed all the other crap. Like, oh, here's the Circle season 2 or whatever. Like, that's all that we see. And we're not seeing like a lot of this cool stuff. And I think maybe that's, I don't know, maybe it should be like a case of like, if Netflix is using these algorithms, are they feeding it to the right people? Are they seeing it? Because I wasn't seeing a lot of Love, Death, and Robots on my homepage.
Yeah.
So, and you kind of think of, well, I did start watching the first season, I got through it, but I wasn't getting any notifications really. So, and it wasn't like a build up or a hype that I know it's coming. So maybe that is something I need to look into. I don't know, but
it's one of those things, unless somebody tells you about it, you're not gonna, I mean, consider Black Mirror, like everybody now has watched at least one episode of that. It's very popular, and I think they could have a similar thing here, although it doesn't follow necessarily the same themes or anything. I think this has the potential to be as popular.
No, definitely. I think there's something there, but I really just hope that this isn't the final season. Like, I hope that it is watched, that people do enjoy it, and the word gets out there, and it would be really cool to see it be expanded, and to see even more artists and more short stories being adapted, because there's an art form for this that it needs to be out there. I don't think everything needs to be a TV series or everything needs to be a movie. You can have short stories being adapted. I mean, I know you as a filmmaker as well, you enjoy short films, and this is the perfect sort of medium. And something like this, I think it's encouraging for people making short films, because obviously cheaper as well, versus like, okay, let's just go invest in making a full-length feature, and all the time it takes to do that for the CG, editing, color grading, everything. Like, this is actually a lot cheaper.
Yeah, and it's like bite-sized entertainment as well. It's like 10 minutes a film. One of the they're like between 8 minutes and 15 minutes, I think. So
yeah, they're quite short.
I mean, everybody has time to watch a 10-minute film in between watching something else. In between watching your Is It Dingo and all that. I'm sure
Is It Dingo's dead, dude. Like, Is It Dingo's dead. Give it the times, man. Like, it's done. It's done. I think so. I think Is It Dingo's gone over Vigoli, man. It's like,
dude, I haven't watched SABC in like years, so I wouldn't.
Well, that's the irony. Like, turning on the TV, you turn on the TV to watch your streaming platforms. So that's kind of what it is.
Exactly.
But anyways, man, thank you so much for joining me. It's been really cool discussing this. I mean, we are going to be discussing Love, Death, and Robots probably even more in the future, if there's definitely more episodes, which it's a hint, Netflix. Please do so. Yeah. And thanks so much to everybody else that's listening. Thanks again for tuning in. And if you've checked out Love, Death, and Robots, what do you think of it? Let us know in the comment section down below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace.